Hi, eighth graders. Good morning. Today we are going to be talking about cultural diffusion in social studies, and this will be our major theme for the rest of the week. So, first of all, what is cultural diffusion? Now, diffusion means a spreading, so it's going to involve the spreading of culture. So, here's our definition. Cultural diffusion is the spread of items such as religion, ideas, customs, and language from one cultural group to another. So take a look at this photograph. Why is this photograph an example of cultural diffusion? Good. It's an example of cultural diffusion because these are Tibetan monks who didn't create Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was brought to them, and it's an American product that has been spread to their country. So this is a very simple idea. This is a very simple example of what cultural diffusion is. So they probably, because of an American coming in contact with American culture, now they drink Coca-Cola. All right, there are three causes of cultural diffusion, or what cause one culture to spread their culture to another. The first cause is trade, second is war, and the third is exploration. Some more causes include immigration, push factors, and globalization, which we will get more into tomorrow. So our first example is trade. This is an image of the Silk Road. So here is China, and then down here we have India, the Arab Peninsula, and then here's the coast of East Africa. And the Silk Road was a big road connecting different cultures from China all the way to the west to Constantinople. And these were all a bunch of products and goods that were exchanged. So it was not uncommon to find Chinese products and Chinese goods all the way out here in the west because they had been transported by traders. So the Western world was exposed to Chinese ideas, and in China they were exposed to Western ideas and Western products. Okay, another example of cultural diffusion is it can be created by war. So this is a map of the Crusades that took place in the Middle Ages, and these different routes are lines of where people in Europe went when they fought in the Crusades here in Eastern Europe and in the Middle East. So they came to the eastern coast of the Mediterranean, and they found an entirely different culture, and they brought their European goods and they exchanged Eastern European and Mediterranean goods. Yeah. Finally, we have cultural diffusion caused by exploration. So this is an image of the Columbian Exchange, which was caused in the late 1500 or the late 1400s by Christopher Columbus and the explorers that came to North America, to the New World. And so when they came over from Europe, they brought disease with them, livestock, grains, peaches, coffee beans, turnips, onions. So they introduced all of these things, citrus fruits, grapes, bananas. And then when they were in North America, they brought back all of these products to Europe. So, for example, in North America, they did not have onions before they were brought by the Europeans. And in Europe, they didn't have corn until it was brought back by the Europeans. So exploration is one very quick way for countries and cultures to introduce their ideas to each other. Cultural diffusion in Louisiana is something really, really important, and is kind of at the center of our culture here. There are many different cultures that go into cultural diffusion. We have the Spanish culture, French, Cajun, Creole, African, Caribbean, and then other immigrant groups that are coming in more recently. I can't spell Caribbean. Other groups that are coming in more recently that are going to spread their own culture. But these are just some quick examples. We have music that has been developed. So Zydeco is a kind of Cajun music that developed out of African and Southern Louisiana music and French music. Jazz, we will talk more in depth about. Cooking in Louisiana is an example of cultural diffusion, especially things like jambalaya and gumbo, because both are involved in Cajun preparation that was brought here by the Acadians in the late 1700s, mid to late 1700s. And then finally, culture, a lot of New Orleans culture that I think we've talked a little bit about this before, is based off of the French Catholic calendar, and the French religious culture is still very much present in the way that our city celebrates holidays throughout the year. So these are just some quick examples of cultural diffusion in Louisiana. Take a few moments right now to fill out your exit ticket at the back of your packet under Independence Station, and we will circle back for a spotlight of cultural diffusion. Okay, so I wanted to show you just how deep cultural diffusion can go, and we will talk about jazz music today. So jazz music developed out of interpretations of American and European classical music, and it was mixed with African enslaved folk songs from West African culture. And a lot of jazz developed in New Orleans in the turn of the century, so like the 1900s, but it had come out of music and rhythms that slaves had brought over with them from West Africa in the mid-1800s. So, and it is a very American form of music, and jazz music itself not only is a product of cultural diffusion because it has received African culture into its own influence, but it has also been spread across the globe. So Americans have exported jazz music across the globe, and it is very much a part of the musical vocabulary in the world today. And that's an example of America culturally spreading their idea of this kind of music. So I'm going to attach a link. Go ahead and click on it, and it'll give you a quick 5-minute intro to jazz music, and hopefully you can get a little bit more of a sense of how it developed and how it is a really good example of New Orleans' own contribution to cultural diffusion in the world. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this introduction to cultural diffusion, and have a great rest of your day.